Morning, good people. Morning, morning, morning. Now, let's get to it. Wake up. It's Charlo time. Charlo, brother. What's up, Mark? Hit the like button coming in, ladies and gentlemen. John Rod, I see you, brother. Let's get to it. Everybody was mad at me because I did an interview with the CEO, executive officer of the California State Athletic Committee, who were the one that put out the statement. Andy, who put out the statement saying that Charlo didn't violate any rules with the water bottle. And that was Jermall, not Jermall, who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Now, I tried to tell people, though no one listened. It's okay, it's cool. You ain't want to listen. It's cool. It beats like that sometimes, right? But let's get to it. Jermall Charlo is 30-0. 22 knockouts. That sounds impressive, right? Sounds like he should have some very valuable fights on his resume to be 30-0. Where was the big Jermall Charlo rollout? Let's see. I really haven't done anything today. But let's see. The big rollout. He beat J-Rock Julian Williams. And that's when I said, all right, okay, I'll give him a little credit for that. He got a unanimous decision win against Austin Trout, a fight that was very close. He really was struggling in that fight, and he blamed making weight at 54, right? Then he knocked out J-Rock in 5 rounds, and that was his biggest win to date. He goes to middleweight, and what happened at middleweight? Do you know what year that was when he fought J-Rock? That was 4 years ago. So Jermall Charlo is in a division at middleweight for 4 years. Let's see who he fought, right? He comes out and fight Jorge Highland. Okay. So when they put him there, they put him ahead of a fighter who was at middleweight named David Lemieux, who had basically all his fights at middleweight at the time. Instead of coming in fighting David Lemieux, the IBF ranks him ahead of David Lemieux. How? How? How is that possible? He just got there and made him a mandatory challenge to fight a guy named Jorge Highland. Okay, fine. No problem. We'll accept that. His next fight against Hugo Centineo Jr., another light puncher, undefeated like record, I guess. They just ballooned up. Who? Have anybody heard anything from Hugo Centineo Jr.? Then after this, he fights a guy that was basically retired, who been off for like 3 years, Matt Cobaro. And Mancobero beat the brakes off of him for half the fight and made it a close dog fight. Right? Then he turns around and fights Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams. Let me tell you what he did. He turned down a fight offer from the Zone to fight Demetrius Andrade. He would have got $6 million to fight Andrade. He turned it down. Then he turned down a May fight against Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was going to fight Jermall. He would have got $8 million. He would have walked away with $8 million plus fighting Canelo. He turned around and fought for less than $2 million to fight a guy named Brandon Adams. And y'all want to say, why am I coming down on the brothers? My thing is, why the brothers following behind this bum? Why they following behind you for? You wasting their time. Oh, we already know they bums, but we're trying to get people there slowly so that they could see it. So I want them to prove it to me or put up some type of defense to prove that these guys are more than what they trying to lay it out to be. Because we got these black apologists who just, as long as the fighter's black, they right. No matter what, they just backing him. Yo, man, they black, so he right. I've never been that person. The black guy was robbed me. I didn't think he was right. I wanted him gone. Black guy be the one that do you in. So no matter who it is, I ain't with none of that stuff. It could be Mexican, black, white, whoever doing right, whoever doing wrong. That's just how it is. Then he turns around and fights Dennis Hogan. Dennis Hogan is a good 154 fighter. He's a small middleweight. They put him in there with Dennis Hogan so he could score a knockout. Instead of fighting the guy Moningua, which would have been a great action fight, 2 power punchers, 2 heavy hitters going at it. He could have fought Jaime Moningua. He turned that fight down. So my thing is, to the PBC, what are you doing? Are you still trying to build this guy up? He's got 30 damn wins. How much more building do you want to do? Put him in a damn fight. Let him show and prove he's any damn good. But you know you won't, because you know what I know. You know already that they ain't nothing but eye candy. They look the part. They talk the part. But they ain't the part. I used to be cool with Sam. Now, They all eye candy. That's it. Now people like, well, why you turn against the PBC, man? You supposed to be riding with us, man. You doing what they doing. You don't. Then they love to play. See, this is what you do when you bring up a boxing fact and back them in the corner on boxing and say, why isn't this happening? You know what they come out and say? You don't do this capping that hard against Canelo. Canelo got caught with steroids in his meat. I didn't hear you going this hard on Canelo. Changing the whole topic, avoiding the whole subject as to why these bum twins ain't fighting anybody. Look at Canelo's resume and look at those bums' resume combined. Canelo has done them. Jarrett Hurd has in 1 year surpassed all of them. In 1 year. He knocked out Austin Trout. He beat Arislandi Lara. He had beat my man's Tony Harrison. All in 1 year. Something the Charlo brothers combined couldn't do. Oh, cause I'm an Uncle Tom because I want to get something for my money. I don't know about you, but if I'm paying to see a fight, I want to see a competitive fight. I don't want to see Jermall Charlo beating a guy that got one leg. I don't know about you. That's just me. I want to see something for my money. I want return on investment. So Jermall Charlo, more than anybody, he's living off a knockout he got over Julian Williams 4 years ago. He ain't had a fight in 4 years with nobody that's in contention, nobody who's a name. Jermall Charlo has done absolutely nothing but run his mouth and sit there like a cheerleader at his brother's fight, talking trash. Talking the part, walking the park, taking pictures like he the part. But in the ring, he ain't showing he the part. So I'm asking you, Charlos, your managers, PBC, when? When are you going to quit protecting these bums and putting them in real fights? People are sick and tired of having them shoved down our throats, fighting on some Showtime cards to show that, yes, we know they're twins. Yes, we know they look alike. And can we get a fight, please? Something that matters. Now let's talk about PBC a little bit. I was the main supporter of PBC when it first came out because they promised us something we never got. They promised a changing of the guard. We're changing the way it's going. All the corruption HBO was doing, all of those things were coming to an end. It was going to be a new era in boxing. We were going to see competitive fights now. If the people are going to get what they want to get and what they paid for. And everybody was, yeah, finally. I was on board for that. I said, yes, I'm on board. But you know what I got? You know what I got for my money? You want to know what I got? I got a bunch of arcade, built up, ballooned up fighters who can't fight, fighting each other in a main event every week. I got 2 former football players fighting each other. I got 2 former basketball players that Al Heyman and ballooned up their records fighting Mexicans who just fell off the boat. They can be, your name is Jesus Garcia. Now here's your gloves, get in the ring. ¿Por qué? Ding! Ah, dígame! So, how did Canelo duck a bum he wasn't supposed to fight? Canelo offered this man $8 million to fight him last May over Jacobs. He was offered over $8 million. He turned the fight down. Charlo turned down Canelo. Jermall Charlo last May could have been fighting Canelo Alvarez. He turned it down. He would have got $8 million. He got less than $2 million to fight a bum named Brandon Adams. Nice try though. Well, it's not Andrade, it's Andre, the way they pronounce it. Their family is Israelites. I know them. Been knowing them for years. He's just another fighter who's young. He's just like the Charlos almost. As far he's a better boxer than them. He has better skill set than them. And I want to see Jermall fight him because he'll beat both of the Charlos probably in the same night. And I'm finna get into that. Caleb Plant, another one. He's nothing but a plant in boxing. Another plant. Another guy who thinks he's Floyd Mayweather, and he's not. He's avoiding Benavidez. David Benavidez will beat all of them. He put the Charlos in there, he'll whoop on them too. Why you think they hanging them out to dry? This is a PBC trait. Guys who are not fighting anybody. Gary Russell Jr., who he can't get in the ring with. Oh, who's he been trying to get in there? Leo Santa Cruz. Who the hell is Leo Santa Cruz fighting? I don't want to see him fight another tune-up. When he gonna fight somebody? This is what I'm talking about, y'all. Gary Russell Jr. was trying to expose this. Like, man, these dudes ain't fighting nobody. So if Caleb Plant wants to step up and fight Canelo, bet. Caleb Plant will get the brakes beat off of him. And everybody gonna say, well, dang, he wasn't nothing. Oh, no, he's another PBC airbag. A pacified boxing champion. Well, baby champion, mostly. They've been selling us false goods and giving us terrible decisions on the scorecard. Something that was supposed to have been changing. I don't like that. If somebody's getting ripped off, I don't care if Floyd Mayweather's involved. I don't care who else is involved. I'm very unbiased. I know Floyd gets a check off PBC. I know that from the start. But hey, the fighters are getting ripped off. If certain fighters win, like Ugas wins a fight, and I see him get completely robbed on the scorecards, I ain't gonna be happy about that. He beat Sean Porter. So what am I supposed to think about Porter versus doggone Errol Spence? Errol need to be fighting Ugas. Is that gonna happen? But yet, you get these goofity goof troops. Oh, Terrence Crawford need to be fighting Sean Porter. Where's Terrence going to fight Sean Porter? Why should Terrence fight Sean Porter when Sean Porter got beat up by Ugas? He got an L put on him by Errol Spence, and that's the right opponent for Terrence Crawford, who's the pound-for-pound fighter of the world. So we're going to promote Sean Porter for not getting his hands raised and put him in a fight for a world title against Terrence Crawford. Had he beat Errol, then yeah, that fight would have made a lot of sense. Had his hand got raised, which it should have because he won that fight. But okay. I know Sean Porter's a wrestler and don't have a lot of boxing ability, but he makes a good grindhouse fight. He's a barroom brawler, but he makes the fights interesting to the casual fan. So, of course, it's going to make more sense to them to put him in the ring. And I have no problem with that. But don't do it on a false pretense. Errol Spence should not be fighting no damn Danny Garcia. Who did Danny Garcia beat to earn a fight at him? He just fought a guy that bit him in the ring. He's 3-2 in his last fights. He's won 1-3, lost 2. Danny Garcia, who I like and got a lot of boxing ability, but he's really a 140 fighter, and he's a small 140. So here's Errol Spence fighting another small 140 like Mikey Garcia, a guy who's not a proven welterweight. Errol's another person that ain't fought no damn body. Only person he fought was Kell Brook, who was weight drained, and he was getting rocked in that fight. So look, I already know what's going on. Errol's a good fighter and all, but I know what's up. I mean, you're not going to feed me airbrush. I know boxing. You can't feed me airbrush BS and thinking I'm just going to bob my head to it. I can't do that. I know the guy who the goods, and I know who ain't the goods. I know Terrence Crawford is the goods, and I want to see and prove Errol's good. Don't get me wrong. Out of all the PBC fighters, Errol Spence has always been the one that was the most decent. But he's beatable. He's very beatable. And the right fighter will beat him. And you saw Sean Porter beat him. Terrence Crawford would beat him easier. Well, they know Leo Santa Cruz ain't going to be able to beat Gary Russell Jr., so they want to avoid that fight at all costs. Why is it always an avoidance seem to be coming from the PBC fighters? Tank. Oh, Tank don't want to fight Tevin Farmer. Tank don't want to fight this guy. Tank don't want to fight this guy. He won't Lomachenko. Come on, man, please. Please. Build the fight up. Make the fight with Lomachenko, then Lomachenko going to beat the brakes off you. You got the ability to, but you don't know which Tank going to show up. Do I like Ryan Garcia? Hell no. Ryan Garcia is... This fight with Linares is really finna show you a lot. Because he's finna get an education. Right here. He's finna get a very high-speed education. You put Ryan Garcia in there with Devin Haney. Devin Haney will clean his clock. But I give Ryan Garcia credit. He's calling out the fighters. He want to fight them. He's calling out Tank Davis. Like, look, I want Tank on a pay-per-view. Let's fight. Let's get the fight going, Tank. He want the fight. So I'm not, until I see somebody step up and say, no, they like, oh, what's that fight mean for Tank? They got the money. They got the money. Let's make the fight happen. They putting up the money. So they really believe it. And Tank say he that man, go get that bag. Why PBC don't want to make that fight? What they afraid of? They was like, Floyd want him to fight Rolly first, but Rolly ain't really at that level yet. Rolly need a big name on his belt. Let Rolly fight someone like Tevin Farmer. Let him beat somebody like that. Or JoJo Diaz, get a belt. It's time for these dudes to step up, man. I'm tired of this baby food crap. You got this dude 30-0 and they still feeding him baby food. It's like, dog, come on. You talking like the man, be the man. They doing all this woofing. I want to see some woofs in the ring against some real talent. I'm tired of seeing trash. Ain't that what you want? Don't you want to see fights? Don't y'all want to see real fights? Man, I done heard every excuse in the book. I heard that he was whacking him with some pillows, or they had some type of special thing in there, and he put his hand down and was smacking him with his wrists and punching him with the part of the glove that's not protected. He didn't have his hand all the way in the glove, and he was just really slap punching. I've heard 1,000 different reasons as to what happened in the fight. Tyson Fury trained with a martial artist. One of Tyson Fury's trainers was cool with Wilder's trainer, and he told him to throw the towel in, and it was beyond bizarre. Now here Tyson Fury snuck a rod or some brass knuckles on his wrist. I'm gonna hear about 50 million other stories that then came up about Tyson Fury within the last 2 more days. Every time I wake up, I done get sent another video or something they did. They cheated my boy Wilder. I'm like, oh man. They hit him with some brass knuckles, man. Well, I don't feel any way about the Charlos. I really don't. To me, they're not even real fighters. I don't care what kind of title they got. Until they in a real fight, I don't even care. Fight somebody real. They fought Tony Harrison because Jermall fought Tony Harrison because he saw Hurd knock out Tony Harrison. He said, oh, Hurd just knocked him out. Hurd knocked out Harrison. Oh, this will be a good fight for you. You can get a knockout, man. This will be a good one. He chinny. And I knew, Nate Jones knew, we all talked about it. We said Tony is going to take that boy to school because he is not built like what they think he is. And I'm like, y'all don't realize Tony Harrison was beating her. And he just got caught. The same thing in the kid from Dallas that caught him in his first loss. He was winning that fight too, handedly. Tony ain't that guy to mess with. And sure enough, they thought Charlo was what they thought he was. Put him in the ring, and they found out, oh, wow. This guy is just an amateur. And he got treated like one. Tony took that boy to school, boxed him, controlled the ring generalship, all rounds. I'm like, this is a masterful boxing piece. So of course he won. Of course he won. Then, after that, what happened? Bob Arum's not selling Top Rank. He's selling a portion of the company to an international base. Somebody who's going to, be able to work with them so they can do fights in Denmark. They're going to do fights in Italy. Well, they're looking with somebody with a type of pull that they can partner with. They haven't gotten them yet. They're still looking for the right investor to come along and partner with. They're finna go international and start putting on a lot of different type of shows. Caleb Plant. Didn't David Benavidez call him out for avoiding fighters? Another fighter y'all praise? Didn't he get called out? I thought he did. I gave him credit for beating Jose Estosky. What's up, Joseph? Don't worry, you guys can hit up the Cash App, donate to the page at any time. I appreciate it. Then he turns around and knocks out Mike Lee, the guy who's only famous for the Subway commercials. Then he turns around and beats up Vincent Vingenberg, Bogos or whatever. I'm like, okay, what the hell, man? Now, I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? You beat up Vincent Vigerberger? You fought Mike Lee, the Subway guy? Come on, man. Now you're avoiding the Canelo fight? Something got to happen. Why are these PBC fighters doing this, man? Y'all should be outraged. Y'all the ones sitting here and cap for these guys all the time. Like, who are these dudes fighting? Shoot, David Benavidez, all these people who trying to fight, all the real fighters, they trying to get it in. I'll pick my real fighters, y'all pick the Charlos and all the rest of them bums, and they'll get wiped up. They'll get wiped up. You can stay with Arrow, I'll take Bud, and we're gonna see what happens. Give me Ugas. Y'all take Sean Porter. We gonna see what happens. Give me the real fighters. I'll take the real ones. And I'll tell you who the real is and who the fake. Talk to me about no Charlos. No, I didn't have time to call him. I was dealing with all this other stuff. I might call him today. Who have Bud fought? Everybody he's supposed to fight. Tell me, who has he been calling out? And why they haven't been fighting him? PBC ain't answering the phone. They want to keep fighting each other. Keep having a carousel of bums fighting each other. So Terrence Crawford can look like he can't fight nobody. He ain't got no opponents. He ain't fighting nobody. That's why he the one going to the fights. Like, come on, let's do it. Harold, the only one I would give any kind of notion to for wanting to have that fight. He want to do it. He the only one I could give some semi-credit to. He gonna get washed, but at least he got the balls to step up. Because he knows he wants to be looked at as a true fighter. And he knows Terrence is the goods. But he hanging around some sorry-ass Charlo brothers. That ain't gonna get it done. Did they suspend Canelo? I think they did. Even though they was able to do a test and find out it did come from the meat. It was like, you gave Canelo the benefit of the doubt. Well, Canelo's meat problems ain't had nothing to do with the fact Canelo fighting people. What about the Charlos? I don't know. A couple of Charlo people say they want to fight me when they see me and all this stuff. I'm like, all right. I already know it ain't gonna happen. Charlos don't fight nobody. Okay, tell Jermall to fight me, Machine. So Errol getting ready to fight Danny Garcia. That's cool. Why ain't fight Ugas? That's who he should have been fighting. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to need lawyers because I'm going to be in court. They're going to be, sir, you have severely injured their boxing careers. That's right. Extreme violence. I'll be like, Your Honor, but it was 2 of them and 1 of me. Why am I being charged? I was attacked. They threw the first punch. But when they were down and motionless, you were still beating on them. This is true, Your Honor. I want to finish a fight completely, like Sensei John Creed says. Out of commission. So I'm gonna need a bunch of lawyers to keep me out of jail. Yeah, you can, Malika. Sorry about that. Oh, you think this is about something personal between me and Jermall? Oh, how cute. So, because of something that happened back, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, I hate Jermall, right? And that's why all this is happening. I see how you could say that. So it's my fault. He's fault. Nobody at middleweight. Because of that fallout with me, Jermall has not fought anybody at middleweight. I get it now. Thank you for pointing that out. It all makes sense now. Thought I was a little crazy at first. Now I realize that because me and Jermall have a don't like each other mentality, which all the Charlos in my book. Because if I don't like them, that's the reason why they haven't been fighting anybody. You tell me, what fight did Jermall Charlo have at middleweight? Please tell me. He's been here 4 years. Tell me who he fought. Don't worry, I'll wait. Since it's all about me. Hell, he was better off fighting me in the ring. I probably would have been a bigger draw than the people he fought. And see, Charlo's, not a lot of people even know you, so this is good promotion for you. Me mentioning you. Corabo, yeah, that's the fight he got beat up in when the guy who was off for 2 years came in the ring and beat him up in his first fight back. Yeah, I remember him. Kept landing right hands on his face all night. Then he turns around and turns down the Canelo Alvarez fight. He was offered $8 million to fight Canelo. He turns it down so he could fight a guy named Brian Adams. Or Brandon Adams. So he can get a whopping less than $2 million. Wow, that's great arithmetic. But I guess you how is he ducking if Canelo offered him $8 million to fight him? He's not even an $8 million fighter and was offered $8 million to fight Canelo. And Charlo turned it down. His boat has come and gone. I don't know who the lot of people is. That must be just some of the PBC people. Because it's definitely not factual. Why did he fight David Lemieux? David Lemieux was there. He could have fought him. He could have fought him. He was a name. He was at 160. Didn't fight him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it is what it is, you know. Yeah, because Errol Spence has got balls. He's got pride. He actually wants these fights. I believe he actually wants it. It's PBC who don't really want that fight. They scared to death about putting him in the ring. Mm-hmm. He really want to fight, so I believe it'll take place. But when Terrence beat him, you know what y'all gonna say? It's the accident. He ain't the same since the accident. If it wasn't for the accident, he would have won. So Terrence is not gonna get any full credit for whooping him, and that's real talk. Yeah, Arrow got a good excuse ready for when he lose. So why not fight him? Because Arrow will lose. There is no doubt about it. How I don't even understand how you can see Terrence losing to Errol Spence. Do you not know who Terrence Bud Crawford is? What if you saw an Errol Spence to make you? He couldn't even beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter had him on Dream Street. You think this ain't Sean Porter? Look, like I tell you, I'm gonna get y'all take Spence. I'm gonna take Bud. That's it. Bud Crawford. I'm rolling with Bud. Mean Machine drop Bud. If you want to call that a knockdown, okay. What did he do to Mean Machine? Tell Arrow to fight Mean Machine and see what happens. See what happens if Arrow fight Mean Machine. Tell Sean Porter to fight Mean Machine. And let's see what happens. You know what's going to happen to Sean Porter? He going to be sleeping 3 rounds. I would count Errol out. I have no problem counting him out. Mean Machine is a tough fighter. That's a tough fight. I told y'all that was going to be the toughest fight he done had so far. Because I know fighters. I know boxers. I know the real. I know the fake. And that's what I'm telling y'all. The Charlos are fake. That's fake fighters. Those people that they just want to be on the Instagram. They want to be on Showtime. They want to do specials. They want to hold a belt. They want to pose. They want to look like fighters. And be celebrities and superstars. They're not champions. They're champions. They're a bunch of chumps. All these PBC guys are turning out like that. They ain't fighting nobodies. The real fighters that expose these guys, they're avoiding them like the plague. David Benavidez will whoop half of these dudes. Half of them, easy. If he gets Caleb Plant in the ring, he going to plant him in the ground. He going to plant him right in that ring. In 6-7 rounds, Caleb Plant's going to be on the ground trying to shoulder roll. And his PBC ringside girlfriend is going to roll in the ring and pull him out. Charlos are trash. They fighting a bunch of nobodies. Y'all been sitting there letting Jermall Charlo out here. Not one of y'all saying when is Jermall Charlo going to fight somebody. Not one of y'all. Turned down Canelo, turned down Demetrius Andre fight, multi-million-dollar fights. His biggest payday of his career, he turned them all down so he could fight bums for less than $1 million or less than $2 million. Get out of here. I mean, I ain't got no time to waste on them bums. I'm just not finna let them go around here and parade around like they some real champions, and they not. They're a bunch of frauds. All right, a bunch of scary bums. Leo Santa Cruz. Who Leo gonna fight? Huh? Why he avoiding Gary Russell Jr.? Huh? Come fight Gary Russell Jr. They don't want that smoke. Al Heyman ain't gonna put them in the ring together because he already know what's gonna happen to Leo. He want his little Mexican pride to be winning. Put him in there with Abner Mares 2 times. For what? They were doing that with Tank. Tank ain't fought nobody. He is fighting Gamboa, who ain't been in a fight in 5 years. They gonna get Tank in there with Gamboa. Well, for what? When is Tank gonna fight somebody? Have you noticed it's always PBC fighters? Is it me? Are y'all not seeing this? It's always a PBC fighter. There's like, man, when they gonna fight somebody? Man, when this guy gonna fight somebody? When he gonna fight somebody? It's always a PBC fighter. We waiting on Spencer and Crawford. Why? PBC. We waiting on this to happen. Why? PBC. I want PBC to deliver on what they promised. They said we was gonna get real fights. I want to see it.
Constantino, pound for pound.
From 160 to 75.
Let's listen to Oscar tell you about Charlo.
Do you think since Canelo is the #1 pound for pound and he's a star of boxing, people basically want a bigger purse, and because they want a bigger purse, it's kind of sometimes like, okay, you don't, not, I don't want to say they don't deserve it, but they don't usually make that much anyway?
I think, look, when you're gonna fight Canelo, yeah, you deserve more than what you've been normally making. But when you price yourself out, it's really because you don't want to fight him. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, when I was a fighter, it's like, I mean, I was always the A side, but when fighters would want to fight me, it's because you fight me because you want to beat me. You know, you're making all the money already. You're making big money, but it's you want to beat me. You know, so and we're not seeing that today. Like, we're seeing these fighters like pricing themselves out, and it's ridiculous. Like, fight for the glory, and then the money will come. You know, so a lot of fighters are pricing themselves out too fast, and then the train leaves, and then you have no fight, and then you know, so it's just be be flexible with that.
Did Charlo price himself out, Oscar, or what?
Yeah, big time, big time. It is what it is.
Did he want like a ring to
I
match?
love the guys. I mean, I promoted them.
Yeah.
They're good fighters. They're great fighters.
No, they not.
Actually have a fight in them, you know. But it's unfortunate.
Why do you think he said no?
I don't think he said no.
Do you think it's his handlers or?
Of course. I love Mikey's ambition. You know, he's pretty ambitious. I like it. It's good for the sport. You know? I don't know who wins in that fight. I really don't. Yeah, it's a good fight. So we'll see.
Oscar, what?
Any questions? Or you need more proof?
Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here in Los Angeles, being joined with Oscar De La Hoya. It's a New Year, 2020. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
For you, what's the fight that you have to make for 2020?
The fight that I have to make for 2020? Wow, that's a good one. I think, I mean, Ryan in the world title fight against the top the Haney's, the Teofilio Lopez, the Gervonta Davises, those types of fights. And then obviously you have Virgil Ortiz. I mean, Virgil with any fighter out there in his division, I want to make, and I want to be able to work with promoters. I want to be able to work with the fighters and make these types of fights, because look, sky's the limit for them, especially in that weight class. When you see Ryan at 135 and him moving up to 140 eventually, you want to be able to make the biggest and best fight. So it's going to be a good year.
You didn't mention Golovkin and Canelo Part 3. Now, obviously, that's the fight that people have been wanting to see. Is that not a priority, or you see that being as extremely difficult to make, given Canelo's comments of the last year that he says it's not really like a thing that he's interested in anymore?
No, I don't think it's difficult to make. I think it's just a matter of timing. Canelo.
Charlo's above.
Canelo
There you
already
go.
passed Golovkin, by
Don't
a long
forget to
shot.
hit the
And
cash
so
app up.
It's about Canelo making the decision of fighting him, and then we'll make it happen. But I think we need time.
If I
We
do
need
a
time
Patreon on the
to make that
PBC,
happen, but
it will
we'll see. I'm
explode.
gonna go down to Mexico and talk to Canelo.
It will explode.
and we'll have an answer shortly on who he's gonna fight.
I know you guys have a business relationship right now. How is that going? Because obviously you as a promoter, you want to have more than just a business relationship. You want to have a good relationship. How is that at this point? I would imagine, it's a working thing that you're working on.
Yeah. It's a working relationship. I mean, we've always been friends. As a promoter, you want
You
the very
want to
best
make
for them,
sure
so,
you do the best you can.
I think that with Ryan Garcia, I mean, sky's the limit with Golovkin, with Canelo and Golovkin. I mean, we can make that fight happen, or we can make Callum Smith. You can make. There's so many opportunities for Canelo, but we have a great relationship, and that's what's most important. But the working relationship is amazing.
No, given how soon do you think you will announce Canelo's next fight?
Hopefully in the next few weeks, so we can start putting things together and figuring out venues and where and who. So it takes a lot of time, but hopefully we'll have an answer in
Pacified
the next few
baby
weeks.
The
champion.
front runner seems to be Billy Joe Saunders from what we're seeing on social media. Can you say anything about that the front runner is Saunders?
No, the front runner is not Saunders. I don't know who threw out that name, but like I said, he has many options, and I'll go sit down with Canelo. We'll talk about it, and then we'll announce it. But yeah, Saunders is not the front runner whatsoever.
Who's the front runner?
Nobody. There's nobody there. I haven't discussed anything with Canelo, so we'll sit down with Canelo and figure it out.
You missed a
What's more
lot.
likely for him to be back weight-wise? 175. He's very small. Peter Bief is the guy, the champion at that weight. His coaches even said that they're not going to stay at 75. The more likely is 168. 160 though, there's still a lot of options there. What do you think is likely? 68, or you think he still can go to 60?
I personally like 68 for him, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean, we'll see. It's up to him. I don't know how his body feels, how he trains, So, like I said, we'll have to talk to his trainers. We have to talk to Canelo, and then we'll figure it out. But I think 68 is a good division for him, just because he already fought at 75. He had a taste. And to come down to 60, it's going to be difficult for his body to kind of real.
It's a tough cut. It's a tough cut.
So, but we'll see. I'm not him, so I don't really know.
What do you make of all these YouTube fights happening, Oscar? I know you were you voiced your strong opinion about McGregor fighting in a boxing fight, and this is kind of even weirder than that.
Somebody
What do you
just
make of all
offered to buy back my car.
I'm
We want to buy back
I'm
your
from the
car.
old
Come
school
on
breed,
in.
and the
I
boxing
ain't
is
gonna
so
buy back my
dangerous
car and try to put me in
real
another doggone car.
A lot of these YouTube guys are thinking that it's a joke. It's not a joke. This is real stuff. I mean, this is life or death. sometimes inside that ring. So that's why I'm so critical. I mean, boxing, to become world champion is not easy. And, you know, people put their lives on the line.
Charlo's a
sometimes.
bum,
And
man.
so,
Both of
you know,
them. Calling me. I'm not finna buy a car.
Look, just stick in your own lane. I think.
Man,
look,
they
I mean,
desperate.
It's just a tough sport. I mean, I've been there. I've done that. It's not. I mean, it's entertainment, yes, but it's not. You know, it's like this is serious. So that's why I've been so critical.
Do you think it degrades boxing?
Just a bit. It really does, because you have kids like Ryan who's been fighting since he was 5 years old. Like myself, I started when I was 5, and I've put all my life into this. And so for somebody to come,
I'm glitching.
you know, because you want to fight,
I don't know
because you
why.
fight, just doesn't really make sense to me. You know, so.
You know, McGregor just fought over the weekend, and I bring this up because once again,
Why are we
name
glitch?
came up and Manny's name came up. Now, what do you make now that we're removed from that pay-per-view? It was a success. People did want to see it. You know, are you still in favor for seeing someone like McGregor fighting someone like Floyd and Manny, or vice versa, wanting to see Floyd come back and Manny come back to fight somebody like McGregor?
No, I think. Look, I think every sport and should just stay in your own lane. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a Mayweather Pacquiao fight again, because they're two fighters, the two boxers, but just stay in your own lane. I think it's best for every sport. You know, it doesn't degrade it doesn't minimize what boxing
I don't
is.
care what
Boxing is a
sport
pure,
special
you
they
know,
talking about.
sport that I dearly love, and I would want to continue, you know, to see it grow as much as possible, because there's a lot of young kids, a lot of fighters like Ryan, who
They're
have
putting
dreams,
out
you
the
know,
most
who
viewed
wanna
cards
become
in
multiple
boxing.
world champions,
Numbers
and,
don't
you know,
lie.
They want to be caught up with all that hoopla. You know, they want to
Are they putting out the best fights?
Take it serious.
That's
And,
that's
and
the question. I'm not caring about numbers and cards. If you put a bunch of garbage boxing cards out, what does that mean?
Would you be, I don't know, what would be your opinion on that? Because we've already seen it once before.
Well, if we've seen it once before, I mean, nothing's gonna change.
What
I mean,
Jermall Charlo fight
Mayweather's the best at what
that
he does,
stands
and
out for
in
you?
boxing, and an MMA fighter's not gonna beat him.
He's
in
30 and
boxing.
0.
I mean, if Mayweather goes into the
Fighting nothing
octagon,
but
then
bums.
I'm sure it's a whole different story. He'll probably lose in the octagon, obviously, because it's not his sport. So that's why I've been like, you know, just stay in your own lane, and you know, we'll all be happy. I mean,
Spence
I love
and Porter
watching,
made
saw
because of the
McGregor
style
fight.
matchup.
He's awesome. He's awesome at what he does.
But
in the
Sean
octagon.
Porter, is that really
And I
a
love
pro
watching, you
top
know, fights,
boxer
you
in
know,
the
with
welterweight
Pacquiao
division?
And, you know, and Mayweather, and you know, so it's just
And style just matches
enjoy
up
these
good
fights,
with Arum.
and let's grow the sports, you know, collectively, you know, the way we're doing.
You know, you want Ryan.
Okay,
to
put
become
Errol
world
in there with
champion,
Mean
obviously. That's
Machine
his goal
then.
for
Let's
this
see
year.
what he does.
The titles are being held right now by two top rankers.
I'd rather see that than him
Lomachenko and
fight Danny
Teofimo,
Garcia.
Lopez. You know, Devin Haney does have a title, but he's injured. Is it possible to make fights with them, seeing it's ESPN, DAZN, it's Bob, dealing with Bob again? Do you see it likely? Can it happen, or you don't think it's very likely you'll go a different route?
I've worked with all promoters. I really have. I've worked with.
It's more like a platform thing, though. That makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult, but it's possible. I've worked with promoters. The one promoter I haven't, or the one agent or whatever it is, PBC. It's
PBC.
been difficult,
Listen.
but I don't think it's hopefully not impossible. I think hopefully we can make some fights with him, because you know, you have fighters like the Charlo brothers, or you have fighters like Tank for Ryan. You know, so there's many fights we can make. Hopefully we can just get along and make these fights happen for the fans.
What has to happen?
For them to drop their ego, I guess, you know. Because look, I would love to tell fighters, like fighters at PBC have no promoter. You know, they just have their agent or their manager, Al Heyman. I would tell the fight that's taking place with Wilder and Fury, the reason why it's happening is because Wilder asked for it. He demanded it. PBC doesn't want to make it. Why? But Wilder demanded that fight, and that's where we're getting it. So every fighter out there demand these fights. If you want to be in a fight,
demand these fights. Tell your promoter you want these fights, and we'll make them happen. Fans listening to that would bring up the case of Charlo, that they've demanded to fight Canelo and the fight hasn't happened. No, we had an amazing offer, a very lucrative offer for Charlo, and he turned it down. Well, Charlo didn't turn it down, but his agent or whoever's behind PBC, I don't know. I'm not gonna say the offer, but it was for a Canelo fight for May of this year, not of this year, last year, and they just didn't happen. So that's the sad part about the business of boxing, is that I can't work with my hands tied behind my back. Look, I'm a fighter. I grew up boxing. I want these fights. I want to make these fights happen. You know, calling out promoters, let's make them happen. Jesus, for the sake.
All right. Now, does that sound like somebody that's lying to you? No. I believe what he said before I believe what the Charlo said. We offered him a very lucrative contract, and he turned it down. So, do y'all need to go to them Charco brothers or whatever and say, hey, man, why y'all turn down the Canelo fight? You kept crying about Canelo. When Canelo gonna fight you? They offered you a very lucrative deal. Why you didn't take it? That's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to go march down there right now. Find them Charlo brothers. If you in Houston, go to their little gym over there, the Plex or wherever the hell they at. Find them and say, hey, man, I heard some news. I heard you got scared. They tried to get you to fight Canelo, and you got cold feet. You got scared. What you scared for? Thought you was a fighter. You talked the game, but you really weren't about that game. You talk like you was ready to fight, but you wasn't. Like when Danny Jacobs walked up in your face, you still ain't fought Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs walked up in your face. Like, what? Huh? You was, I'm just trying to make a fight, Mr. Jacobs. Just trying to make a fight, Mr. Jacobs. Just trying to make a fight. Please. Please. Oh, we ain't forget. Oh, we're going to get another Charlo versus Heelan 2. Charlo's versus Denny Hogan 2. Oh, the rematch with Hugo Centennial Jr. No damn Hitman. It's only one Hitman. That was Thomas the Hitman Hearns. No Hatton or no damn Jermall is the Hitman. Y'all a disgrace to that name. Can't hit nobody if you ain't getting in the damn ring, bud.